Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noel the Red Devil. We are here again because another Manchester United player has found themselves at the centre of another controversy involving an ex-girlfriend. Now, this situation is slightly different because unlike the Mason Greenwood situation, which people are actually, Mason Greenwood supporters are using the Antony situation now to, to push their narrative on Mason Greenwood. Let me tell you one thing, the difference here is that the police investigated and wanted to charge Mason Greenwood. But the main witness, right, which we all know who the main witness was, decided not to press charges, so the case collapsed. So the fact that you are even bringing him into it is absolutely disgusting, but I want to get that out of the way. Now, before we get into this, again, it's a sensitive topic. So if you have been affected by domestic abuse, there are links in the link description from the UK and Ireland because, again, as I said, we have another Manchester United player in the centre of controversy. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on this because we do know that there is an active investigation going on with this, unlike the other situation. And to the Mason Greenwood supporters, just before I continue this, these are an absolute disgrace that you will literally use anything to justify that scumbag coming back into the team. Now, I will say, if it turns out that Antony is guilty of anything that he's been accused of, well, then he should be kicked out of the club ASAP and not actually handle it the way he handled the other situation where they dragged it out. This needs to be done quick, precise, and done. It doesn't matter how much he was, right? At this stage, his transfer fee is irrelevant. But like all people, he's innocent before he's proven guilty, and there is an active investigation. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm not going to talk about what he's being accused of. I'm just going to read the statement from himself. And now the club have released a statement. I am not here to speculate because unlike the other situation, we actually had evidence that was out in the public domain. Now, apparently she has posted some photos. I haven't seen them. But at the end of the day, as I said, this is an active investigation right now. So until there's a resolution, like there was with the other situation, there was a resolution, even though it wasn't the resolution that people thought was going to happen. If main witnesses pull out the case, that's different. I don't think this ex-partner of Antony is messing around, to be quite honest, and I don't think she's going to be dropping anything. So Antony will get his due process. He will be investigated, and if the police believe that there is a case for him to answer, well, then we will obviously call for Antony to be released from the club. But let us, as I said, I'm not going to be here and I'm not going to speculate on anything. But this is what Antony's statement said. Now, Antony has been dropped from the Brazilian squad, and this is what I think forced Manchester United to put out their own statement, because the Brazilian FA dropped Antony from the national team. But this is what I suppose we should start with the Brazil statement on Antony, shouldn't we? So hold on. I'll get it up. I should have actually got this one up first. Let me see. So this is what Brazil National Team Association had to say. Official statement. In order to safeguard the alleged victim, the player, the Brazilian national team, and the CBF, the organisation, informs that Antony has been removed from the Brazilian national team. Now, after they dropped their statement, Antony then came out with his own statement, and here is Antony's statement. Out of respect for my fans, friends, and family, I feel obliged to speak publicly about the false accusations I have been a victim of. From the beginning, I've handled this issue seriously and with respect, providing the due clarifications to the police authority. The police inquest is under the cover of justice, and therefore I cannot make its content public. However, I can say with confidence that the accusations are false and that the evidence already produced and more to be produced show that I am innocent of the accusations made. My relationship with Miss Gabriella was tumultuous, with verbal offences from both sides. So he has admitted that he's been verbally abusive towards her, okay? And we must actually point that out because he's admitted there that now it's not just one side. He says that both of them were verbally abusive to each other, right? Now, that's known as abuse nowadays, right? So, you know, people that take a moral stand on this, he's still admitting that he had verbal, right? So, but he says that he never practiced any physical aggression. Every time, whether in testimony or in interview, she presents a different version of the accusations. Thus, I have come to deny the accusations made and inform that I will remain in full disposal of the Brazilian authorities to clarify what is needed. I trust the ongoing police investigations will reveal the truth about my innocence. So that happened, obviously. And then the club today have released their statement. And I have the club statement. Just bear with me. Where is it? I did have the club statement. See what he's done to Twitter. There it is. This is the Antony said. I mean, what he's done to Twitter is absolutely ridiculous. There it is. You have to scroll down your feed now. It's not the. You know, when you post stuff, you know, the last time you post stuff, that'll be on the top of your feed. Not anymore. Not with Elon Musk's X. It's different now. Anyway, Manchester United's statement reads as follows. And may I add that I don't believe that this club will handle this situation in the right way. We've already seen how they handle similar situations and all of the other stuff that goes along with our club. So I do not believe for 1 second that this club is going to be able to handle this properly, but they have put out a statement, and the statement reads as follows. Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony and notes that the police are conducting inquiries. Pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we are taking this matter seriously with consideration of the impact of the allegations and subsequent reporting will have on survivors of abuse. And that was their statement, short and sweet, because there's nothing much they can actually say until the investigation is done. But I suppose, you know, they have to come out and say that they do realize that there's allegations out there and they have acknowledged them. But I'm not going to get into any speculation now. But what I'm going to say from a Manchester United point of view and a footballing point of view, actually, We've seen over recent years, it's not just been with Manchester United. We've seen over recent years that a couple of clubs have had to deal with players that have been caught up in situations that they shouldn't be caught up in, right? And that's the way I'll put it. Now, some end up being innocent and some obviously end up not innocent, right? But what I would say is this. Why Premier League clubs are not doing background checks on potential signings is baffling me, right? There's so much money banded around that, like, they just want to get the player in, rather than, find out whether this player has any attitude problems, what his attitudes are towards women and other people in general, how they conduct themselves. Now, that goes for every Premier League club, but this is happening way too often now. And something needs to happen. Where's the PFA and the FA and all of these other people? Why aren't you doing something, right, to help footballers who are obviously dealing with stress? And some footballers unfortunately, take out their shit on people closest to them. Why isn't there support processes in place that when players make these big money moves, that they've got all the help they can get to readjust? We've seen with Manchester United, especially a lot of players that come in, for example, Sancho comes in, apparently he's got bags of talent, right? And then he comes in and he never progresses, he never makes a difference. There's no support processes in places for all of these players and their partners as well. They're working in a highly stressful situation. By the way, I am not defending any of these players. If Antony has done even one iota of what's being said, he's out of Manchester United as far as I'm concerned. I don't care how much we paid for him, right? But unlike the Greenwood stuff, which was made public, Antony's stuff hasn't. There has been a few photographs circulating by her, but she's not helping herself either, because she puts out in public, well, the police can deem that not being able to be used in evidence because she's trying to sway the public's opinion, right? So, Antony will get due process. We'll see what happens. But if any of that stuff has happened, anything at all, he should be kicked out of the club ASAP. And no making an internal, like they said the last time, we're all going to have a chat and decide. No, right? If he's accused and it turns out that he's guilty, right? There's no having an internal investigation, right? It's rip up his fucking contract or get him out on loan until you can sell him. Simple as that. And it's getting him out on loan is not a good idea either, because I haven't brought it up, but you look what's happening in Spain with that other scumbag. Groups out there are rightly fucking standing up, and the manager, the club, and Mason are all lying when they says that he was found innocent. He was not found innocent, right? The case collapsed because the main witness, i.e., who, right, decided that she wasn't going to, right? And without her, that was it. She was the main witness. So the case collapsed. So he wasn't proven innocent because the police still wanted to invest and put it away, right? And now we've got this drama, right? Now, on top of this, by the way, folks, right? So we've already we haven't dealt with the Mason Greenwood situation, because I still think that this club have sunken this low that they're still going to try bring him back, right? But he's gone off now for a year, right? But we've got him out on loan, but we swept it to one side. We're going to have to deal with that again when it comes around. right? Now we've got this new stuff with Antony, right? Then you have Jadon Sancho, who came out and basically called the manager a liar, right? After the manager said he was lazy. And that has been proven because people have found articles as far back as 2017 or something on this lad. He's been kicked out of other football teams for being lazy and not showing up for training and not training properly, right? And people are calling for a manager to be sacked. I'll tell you now, I said it was unlike Jadon Sancho, but I didn't know he'd put out all of that stuff. But thanks to Manchester United fans out there that have done a bit of digging, have shown that this guy has previous. So I back the manager on this 100%. He's right. But we've got that drama, right? And then on the horizon, because people have forgotten that certain Harry Maguire is still here. Now, if we don't get rid of him in January, by February, we're going to be dealing all with the stuff with the case in Greece, right? Because remember, he was over in Greece and got into trouble in Greece. Yeah, well, we're going to be dealing with that then in February if we don't get rid of him, right? So that's what our club has become under these owners, right? It's an absolute shit show. Now, I will say this again. Antony will get due process, as in these cases it should be. It shouldn't be tried by social media or tried by Manchester United fan channels, right? The bottom line is this, right? See where the investigation goes, and if the police think that Antony has anything to answer for, well then Manchester United must act swiftly, because at the end of the day, safeguarding the club should be what these owners should be concerned about. But we've seen over time that that's not the case. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I'm not going to make any speculation. I'm not even going to, highlight what she's posted up either, because at the end of the day, it's up to the police to do the investigation, not fans, right? It's not up to fans or Manchester United to do an investigation. It's up to the police. So we're going to let the police do their investigation, see what happens. And then if anything comes out of it, then that's when we'll discuss what needs to happen with Antony next, or whatever the situation may be. But as I said, I know a lot of people out there will be judging straight away, but you should always wait, because just because there is photographs. So I will mention this because it was mentioned by Manchester United supporters. Remember, there was that case in the UK, and I'm just making this reference because I seen it by a Manchester United fan. Remember, yes, the ex-girlfriend has put photographs apparently of her finger. I've seen the sellotape on her finger, or plasters, whatever you want to call it. But apparently you could see down to her bone and stuff like that. And she claims that he did that, blah, 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 blah. Right? All I'll just say as well is this. Remember, women are capable of anything these days as well. Right? And we have that case in the UK where a woman got a hammer to herself, and she accused all of these lads of doing stuff to her, and it turns out she was a psychopath and did it to herself. Now, I'm not saying that is the case here, but you got to be open to all options here when you see anything online. And remember, as I said as well, if you're a decent police force out there, you're not going to use evidence that's posted on social media anyway. Right? And Scottish Davros and friends wrestle with pop culture. Ched Evans as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people for years thought he was guilty, and then the story came out. I mean, that's a effed up thing. But footballers as well need to be, footballers need to be careful. They're looked at as superstars now, and whether we like it or not, it's the truth. They have women throwing themselves at them, you know. And sometimes these footballers, they do kind of, you know, bow to temptation, even though they might have a girlfriend or a wife at home. We've seen it with United players. I mean, Ryan Giggs banging his brother's missus for years, like. And then you had John Terry shagging someone's wife. What's his name? I remember they didn't shake hands. It was awkward as fuck. But he was shagging your man's wife. So, you know, footballers need to kind of stop getting themselves in situations where they leave themselves open. Just go home to your missus or your wife and your kids and stop being fucking assholes. But look, Antony has been consistent, though. He has been consistent about his innocence. So, as I said, we'll see what happens with Wayne Bridge. That's right, it was Wayne Bridge's wife. I forgot who. Wayne Bridge. I remember he was a talent that everybody was talking about, and then all that came out, and his career just nosedived after that. I mean, John Terry cheating on his wife anyway. I mean, his wife is actually a good-looking woman, like, and he was cheating on her with a. I don't know. Sometimes I don't get it. Anyway, as I said, yeah, we can't have a normal day as a Manchester United fan. That doesn't exist anymore under the Glazers. And there's so much more to talk about, like the stock price going down, but that's not the stream for it. But loads of stuff is happening right now. It's an absolute disaster, this club. But it's being run like an absolute disaster. These owners have taken their integrity, they've taken their morals, they ripped the heart and soul out of Manchester United. This is why I always say to people, you know, don't refer this club as Manchester United right now. Manchester United has gone away since the Glazers took over, right? They're no longer Manchester United. This is Glazers Manchester United. This isn't Manchester United. There's a clear distinction. Because Manchester United is a club of honour, integrity, you know, as I said, really makes an effort in the community and is family orientated, right? And these Glazers have literally eroded that over the years. This isn't Manchester United, right? So when we refer to this club, don't call them Man United anymore. Call them exactly what they are. This is Glazers United, right? That's all they are. Okay, and I think it's an absolute disgrace what's going on. I mean, background checks should be the norm anyway. I'm not saying he's guilty, but again, we get rid of one issue, but we're gonna have to deal with it again next year anyway. But for now, we thought, okay, we have a year to find a club for that scumbag and get him out, right? But then we got this now. We got Jadon Sancho called out the manager, calling him a liar. And then in February, if Harry Maguire is still a Manchester United player, he's going to be in Greece for a court case, right? And we're going to have to deal with that as well, right? This season, I already said this season was going to be wrote off and was going to be hard. But with all of this trouble happening in the background, guys, this is going to be the worst season we're going to ever have. It's going to be the worst season ever, because if you think that the dressing room will not be affected by any of these issues and all of this shit that's going on with the takeover, well, then you are naive. This is going to be the toughest season. It's going to be worse than that last season under Ollie, where those players just didn't give a crap, right? And then Ralph Ranier came in, and then those few months, right? It's going to be that bad. It's going to be worse, right? And Amrabat is not going to save jack shit. I see all our fans getting all excited. Yeah, he's a good player. great. But if you got shite around them, right, it doesn't matter how many good players you bring in. You need to get rid of all the shite, start bringing in players. And let's be honest, Amrabat is not Manchester United level, right? Okay, he's not. Okay, we should be going for players with more potential or world class. That's what we should be going for. Or young players with potential to be world class, right? We shouldn't be going for players like Amrabat, right? Amrabat would play for a West Ham or a fucking Spurs, right? He doesn't play for a Man United, right? It's as simple as that. Their standards have dropped so low, right? So fucking low. It's unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable, right? We should be really worried. We've got a couple of players in that squad that are over 30 years of age, who I think have gotten worse this season and have lost another yard of pace. We're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. And with all of this shit over our heads, we're going to be worse. So buckle up, right? The best thing you could do as a United right now is just get behind the manager. Get behind these players as much as you can. I know they'll be inconsistent, but we've got to understand as fans, right, that everything, the root problem of everything here is still the Glazers, right? And that's who the focus should be on fully, is the Glazer family, right? Without them, we will become Manchester United again, right? But until then, this is what we're going to deal with, right? Right? And it's funny because if you look at the errors, right, it's quite shocking that since these owners have came along, that United players have been involved in controversy. Now, as I said, not all end up being guilty and stuff like that, but there's controversy anytime with our club now, these owners. And you know why that is? It's because they don't have the right people in place. They don't know how to run a football club. And that's what I'm saying. The root cause here is always the Glazers. Right? The one thing they have got right is bringing in this manager. Right? But they've already fucked them over and screwed them over. Right? So even when they make a right decision, they make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wrong decisions. This team is worse than last year. And I don't care what anybody says. And people could say that I'm just hating to hate. I'm not. Right? I was very optimistic at the start of the season. I thought we'd actually challenge for the league. Right? But looking at that team, the games that we've played, right, something's gone horribly wrong. And I'm telling you, that team, even with the additions that we've brought in, it's not stronger than last year. It's weaker. Because a couple of the players that are still here have passed it. And we won't admit it to ourselves, right? But there's players in this team that are injury prone and that are getting on. And in reality, Manchester United shouldn't be signing them. But that's how desperate we are. Anyway, if you've been affected, as I said, by domestic abuse, we do have links in the link description for the UK and Ireland. And as I said, we will not be commenting any more on this until there's a resolution, until we know all the facts, because I think it's important that we wait until all the facts are presented. And that's where I stand on it. But remember, let's just wait and see. Because, you see a player on the pitch and stuff, and you see how aggressive he is on the pitch, you automatically think, oh, maybe there's some truth in this. It's not always the case, folks. Players are just a different animal on the pitch. But we'll see what happens. He's got his family around him. We'll see what comes out of this investigation. But until then, we just have to buckle up now and take this another shitstorm from the media and pundits out there and continue to be bashed as we do. I'm just sick. I just don't know how we can get from where we were to where we got to where we are today. I just don't get it. I just don't. Well, I do. The Glazers did it, but how they could be this stupid. Anyway, we leave it there because I wasn't streaming yesterday on the other channel because it was Cheryl's birthday. So I'll be there to do a stream before we obviously stream again tonight. So catch me over on the other channel. I should be over there in the next 20 minutes, half hour maybe, probably less. I do have something to talk about, so come and join me on the other channel. But thank you for tuning in here for now. We'll see. Obviously, I don't know when Eric Ten Hag's next press conference is, but I can tell you it's going to be a very lively one. That's for sure. But until then, we just have to wait now. There's going to be loads of media speculation, reports out there, some true, some untrue. This is what happens, folks, and this is what we're going to have to deal with as fans. And we shouldn't be dealing with this, you know what I mean? Right now, our club is fucking absolutely shocking on the field of play, and we've got to deal with all of this bollocks. I'm sick of it as a Manchester United fan, I really am. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I'm off to watch a couple of me favourite United fan channels now who are talking about this and see where they are on it. I'm pretty sure they won't say too much, just like me, because, you know, this is not time for speculation. But anyway, thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon on this channel. I'm pretty sure we'll be back pretty soon because this club is just drama. Anyway, see you later. Have a good one.